Okay, we got time for one more question.
All right. Unless you can answer this in 60 seconds, Tony. Can you
Go.
list a few other hiring mistakes that would potentially hurt future fundraising? Example, hiring only B quality candidates, like mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean, don't hire too fast. Don't commit too much. So, again, contracts, being able to hire fast, fire fast. If it's not a good fit, you're not going to know. People can dazzle you in an interview, but you're just not going to know until you get in there. So, yeah, any way that you can mitigate risk by just like, trial assignments, contracts, working agreements, things like that. If it's not a fit, you just exit them right out.
Put a nail in this one here and just explain it from a standpoint of investors. You are going to have to defend your cap table. So if you bring on a wonky hire, give them a wonky salary, and you give them tons of equity, that investor is going to make you defend your cap table. And if you do not have a good excuse that makes business sense, then you're not going to get that investment. So just think ahead of time. Every decision you make when you hire, if you need to raise future rounds, you're going to have to defend your cap table and defend every single dollar and what you put in to these employees. So that's going to change the way that you hire right in the beginning.
I would rather be generous in providing compensation the way of like commissions. If I were to bring on like a salesperson and something that would incentivize them versus like a high base and a bunch of equity, like it's multiple components, but that's how you insulate yourself against just like blowing through your capital. Make them basically perform to make their money.
Okay, Jen, do we have another question we can answer in 60 seconds or are we good?
We got one more. What is your process like for interviewing developers? Do you ask them logical questions or just straightforward resume experience? How do you actually tell if someone's smart and good at what they do?
Let me
Yeah, so just
answer. Let me
go,
answer in 30 seconds and then you add.
go.
Because I'm non-technical, when I interview a technical person, I don't ask any technical questions. I ask questions about culture fit, how they handle conflict resolution. Then I bring in a technical person to ask the technical questions, and then I ask their opinion, and then I make them do a project, and I say, let's try something together. And I have the technical person give me their feedback, and then I see how did I work with them, how did they engage with me, what's the chemistry like, and the technical person signs off on their work. That's how I do it.
Yeah, I would co-sign that. I just say it's like, hey, beware technical tests because they're not usually reflective of somebody's true aptitude. I think it can give you kind of insights, but they're not necessarily a real world application because it's like when you go take something in high school, you're not going to use that knowledge 20 years in the real world.
Thank you, Tony. That was great. Thank you to everyone who asked those questions.